Are you ready? Are you ready? Wait for it. Look for it. It's there. Are you ready to soar? Are you ready to explore? Are you ready to live your life the way it's meant to be lived? Let's reach new heights. Let's climb that mountain together. You can do it. Come on. Join me on a yogi venture. Hi, guys. I hope everyone's keeping safe. We're not out of the clear just yet. I try to watch the news, but not too much. It gets a little overwhelming. But I have stepped up my self-care routine to help with my overall mental health. And this episode introduces you to my yoga teacher, Rudy Peirce. I studied under him at Krapalo. That's in Stockbridge, Massachusetts. Most of you know that I had a yoga adventure business before returning to my acting career, and I became certified at Krapalo, and Rudy, of course, was my teacher. And I discovered Rudy's online classes from an email. I think I was on his email list. Anyway, the timing was perfect because I was feeling a little overwhelmed with COVID and what's happening in the world, and I kind of needed to do something. So I had stopped practicing my own yoga, and I realized I needed to change. So I'm delighted to introduce you to Rudy Peirce. So settle in and listen. Enjoy. Guys, I am so excited to have with me today Rudy Peirce, right? Am I saying your last name right, Rudy?
You got it.
Perfect. And Rudy was my instructor at Krapalo for yoga, but he also did not know that I was on this personal journey where attending classes there and deepening my practice with you, Rudy, it really kind of turned my life around. I'll just say that. And so you're embedded in my heart. So I don't know, do you remember how we met? I know you've taught a ton of people.
Well, I certainly remember you in the yoga teacher training.
Mm-hmm. You do?
Yeah. And you were with an awesome group.
Yes.
And you did it in the best way, which was the two-week sessions.
Yes.
And with like 6 to 8 weeks in between, and Christmas and New Year's in between.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But, you were already, I could just tell, you were comfortable with speaking in front of others.
Yeah.
And so you took to it, and I'm very proud of you.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I don't know if you knew, but I had struggled towards the end. And at graduation, and I told myself, he probably says this to everybody, but it really stayed with me. You whispered in my ear, I believe in you. And it was just kind of special at the end because it was grueling. You know what it's like. And it tests you, and you're in these quarters with people you don't know, and it's a learning curve, and you're tested to experience things that might make you feel uncomfortable, and then you learn and you grow. So anyway, I'm very fond of you because of that.
Yes. Well, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
It's certainly a nice way to start.
Mm-hmm.
Yoga teacher training is challenging in many ways.
Mm-hmm.
And the folks that take it get surprised that even though they've been in hundreds of classes and listened to the postures being led hundreds and thousands of times, that it's a real challenge to remember the words to guide the postures.
Mm-hmm. How did you find yoga?
Well, thanks for asking. I began with a meditation practice back when I was in college. I picked up a book about transcendental meditation,
Oh.
and I was very intrigued, and so I did what they called an initiation with transcendental meditation, which, and in a way, it was an initiation, although it wasn't a dramatic ceremony, but it was instruction, and you received a mantra.
Oh.
And the beautiful thing about that practice was that it was 20 minutes twice a day, which I did before breakfast and before dinner. And it was beautiful that I did it as like a sophomore in college. So I practiced meditation throughout college, and then for quite a long time after that. And after college, I attended a weekend at Krapalo.
Oh.
And was really taken by the community and, just being in this wonderful environment for doing yoga. A big hall with candles, and
Yes.
it was just a beautiful ritual atmosphere.
Yeah.
And I was fortunate because I shared a house with people that were into practicing yoga, and there was a Krapalo yoga teacher we were up in New Hampshire, and in Concord, New Hampshire. There was a Krapalo yoga teacher who was really good. And so I had a great foundation both in Krapalo yoga and in teaching yoga. She was very deliberate and had a really clear lesson plan for every class. And so, and then it was, I was really interested in Krapalo itself as a community and continued to attend programs there.
So how long ago, Rudy? Because, did you just graduate college a year ago? How long has this been going on? This yoga journey.
This was last century.
I guess I just am letting people know that you know what you're talking about. You're not new. You have been at this for a long time. I think because that says a lot.
Sometimes I feel proud that I've been teaching and that people have told me I'm doing a good job.
Definitely.
Over 30 years now.
Yeah.
And then there's also this funny little voice in my head that also says, well, it better have been a good class. I've been doing this for 30 plus years. I ought to have it down by now.
Totally. You definitely do. You know that, though.
I've had good teachers, really exceptional teachers. Being a resident at Krapalo, I got to study with the most senior Krapalo yoga teachers and a number of visiting yoga teachers that were, just nationally well-known teachers. One of the things that I've realized, to me, it's an important quality in a yoga class, and that's quality of slow. Because it allows people time to get it, and particularly for beginners. And it's a quality that comes natural to me, and I didn't realize it for a long time, that I just like slow. And actually, it had been something that I had felt self-conscious of in some situations where slow wasn't good. It was like, maybe you better pick up the pace. But in yoga, it's an asset. And then I had this sweet moment, probably 15 or 20 years ago, where I remembered that my dad, who passed when I was a boy, so as a tender memory, that he was well known for being slow and deliberate.
Yes.
So then I just felt like, wow, so this is a skill and a quality that my dad gave me that is an important part of my life and every class that I lead.
Yeah. Did you ever meet Swami Krapalo?
I did.
You did? Wow.
It was only once, and it was brief.
Okay.
It was probably 1980 or so.
Yeah.
And he would give what was called a Sunday afternoon darshan.
Okay.
And darshan means to sit at the feet of the teacher to receive the teacher's teachings.
Mm-hmm.
And Swami Krapalo was famous for actually practicing silence.
Mm-hmm.
So he practiced complete silence for 12 years. And for a number of years, he practiced silence for over 30 years. And he would speak once or twice a year at big celebrations.
Wow.
So he didn't speak. And I was told that some people just had these dramatic meltdown kind of experiences just being in his presence. They would just be overwhelmed with his peacefulness. And so I knew that it would be a challenge for me to accept my experience because I don't have dramatic experiences.
Yeah.
Steady and slow and grounded. But he was extraordinarily peaceful.
Wow.
And gentle in his movements and deliberate.
Yeah.
And just so aware. And I just moved into the room real slow and then took his seat real slow. And I think somebody led some chanting and he just sat there and meditated. And that's all I can remember was this deep peace.
That's nice. That's because when I think of yoga, that's what I think of. I think of peace. Why is yoga important to you?
Well, yoga is important for so many reasons. And for me, one of them was that it helped me relax. Mm-hmm. And most people would be surprised to hear that, on the inside, I'm not relaxed. I'm
very surprised. Yeah.
I'm self-conscious. I can be anxious and lacking confidence.
Okay, the normal qualities.
Right, like a normal human being.
Yeah.
And so yoga helps me just really settle in my own skin and feel relaxed and confident and like I'm good enough just the way I am.
Damn. Oh my God,
so,
yeah.
Really sweet, healthy sense of self-worth.
Yeah. All right. And see, on a personal note, that what you just said is so important to me because I have given up my, training, teaching yoga. But the philosophies of what you just said, I now use for acting because I cannot be anybody else but me. And I struggled with that a long time ago. And upon returning, I needed to give up all expectations and just be me and believe in me. And so I have sought back out yoga, and that's how I found you because I was on your mailing list, and I was like, I need to go back, almost like I need to go back home so I can really hear the messages that yoga, instills.
So even though as an actor, you play a role and you deliver a script, it's different to do it just as you would do it.
Yes.
Not trying to be Meryl Streep.
Exactly. Yes. Yes. And many times you doubt it. Yeah, you doubt what you're doing, and so you're lacking confidence and everything you just said. It's the same thing, that you wrestle with, and that gets in your way. And so I find I hold my breath, and I need to breathe.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes. All that anxiety. Yeah. Same thing. Yeah.
And so,
yeah.
One of the things I told you I wanted to just mention in this was that yes, yoga is important and practice has lots of benefits, and that it's good to know that there's actually a saying from the ancient yoga scriptures that the benefits of yoga are available with regular practice.
Yeah.
That there's a deepening and a cumulative effect, and that which is a challenging part of it, but it's why classes can be helpful and why doing practice with others can be helpful because it's the rare bird who has the discipline to just hit the mat every day routinely.
Yeah.
And with the cumulative effects, you practice breathing when you're doing yoga, and all the things that you practice, awareness and breathing and moving deliberately, the more you do it in practice, the more it's available in your life, the more remembering
To breathe.
that I can take a deep breath, and that a deep breath helps me come back to my center, and where my power and where my essence comes from.
Yeah. And so that brings me to your type of yoga. What is dynamic, gentle yoga?
Well, gentle yoga is, generally the style of yoga where it's easier than the rest. So it's a very general term, and there are some gentle yoga classes that are quite difficult, and then there are some gentle yoga classes that are so easy they're sleepy.
Okay.
And so one of the gifts of Krapalo yoga is it's considered a yoga of conscious awareness, that as one practices or as one guides Krapalo yoga, there's a lot of attention given to expanding awareness, noticing the sensations in the body, and really diving into them and noticing some of the subtle sensations, or how sensations move, or the feelings of sensation when you release a posture and circulation has been stimulated, respiration, the whole neurological system has been stimulated. You could say that I was trained to guide yoga by people that show up to attend 6:30 gentle yoga at Krapalo. And so these were people that were on vacation at a yoga retreat. So it'd be different people all the time. Over the years, there would be people that I knew and had returned. But the point is that at a retreat center, if you're a yoga teacher, you get a big variety of students, and you never quite know what the mix is going to be. And that's actually true to a great extent now for most yoga teachers. Back in the 70s and 80s, the same students would show up. Everybody was reliable. And yeah.
Wow.
In the 80s and 90s, it started to be more that students wouldn't necessarily come every week. They would miss a week here, miss a week there. Some students would drop in for a week or two, and then you'd never see them again. But the point here is that because I had an ongoing variety of students showing up, it gave me a really good opportunity to notice what people were able to do and what was difficult for them or what created strain, and I would just hone my sequences to take out the things that people couldn't do. And so back to your question, dynamic gentle yoga is what I call, what I lead, and it has a number of qualities. One is that it's generally what people can do. Also, I say right up front that you can release anything at any time, you can do something different, because they're usually waiting for the teacher to say, you can do this, you can do that, and it gets quite complicated because people have a lot of different things going on. And so it's empowering in the sense that I encourage them to experiment and explore. And so I like to say that it's accessible, and I'm still learning what is difficult for people. Right now, I would say most of my students are in their 60s and 70s, and some in their 80s.
Wow,
So
nice.
I'm often learning things that aren't accessible to them.
Yeah.
So that's one part of it. The other part, dynamic, it means that it moves energy.
Mm.
And so in the style I lead, I give a breath cue for every movement.
Mm-hmm.
It may be inhale the arms up, it may be exhale the arms down, but there's a breath cue for every movement so that people are breathing a little bit deeper
Nice.
than their resting breath.
Okay.
And what that does is it helps their parasympathetic nervous system engage. And that's the aspect of the nervous system where we relax and digest our experience and heal the body.
Mm.
And in a stressed society, we tend to get locked into the other aspect of the nervous system,
Mm-hmm.
which generally is called fight or flight.
Yes.
They also call it the get up and go part. And a lot of us are always, let's get up and go. Like, we got places to go, we got people to see, we got things to do.
Yeah.
And time is precious, so get going. And it's stressful.
Mm-hmm.
And things are happening fast.
Mm-hmm.
And scientists have actually told us that, like, there is sort of a switch between these two systems. And when we're in the fight or flight aspect of our nervous system, the get up and go, always being attentive and
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
being run
Busy,
by
busy,
a
busy.
to-do list,
Mm-hmm.
then it's that switch gets stuck, and it's hard for us to power down. It's hard for us to relax. It's hard for us to fall asleep.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to get a restful sleep, and it's hard to simply be.
Right.
For humans doing rather than humans being.
Mm-hmm.
And yoga practice helps us go back to relax and digest,
Mm-hmm.
but it's most powerful when you get breathing deeply during the practice, and when there's a rhythmic breath that soothes that nervous system.
And is that something that you teach?
So, yes, I mean, I think what you're asking is, do I train teachers?
To use that breath.
Yeah, yes. And so it is how teachers are taught in general at Krapalo in their 200 hour.
Mm-hmm.
But as you were saying, that the 200 hour, the initial certification as a yoga teacher is intense.
Mm-hmm.
Because just the basics are a lot.
Right.
And so the nuance of the breath cues is not something that you can get in the 200 hour.
Mm.
It's just too much.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of things that you can't get in the 200 hour, and that's why these days there's a whole certificate for the next 300 hours
Mm-hmm.
where you learn more about teaching meditation, you learn more about all the breath techniques, you learn about teaching to all the different conditions that people could have. And so I designed a training that's called Dynamic Gentle Yoga Teacher Training, that where you learn the anatomy of guiding a posture. So initially there's words to get you in and out of the posture, and that's the surface level of understanding. So we go deeper, and there's really detailed looking into the quality of the breath cues that you use at the beginning, middle, and end of a posture, and throughout the rest of the yoga class. That makes it a meditative yoga, and it also moves energy, so it's both calming and stimulating.
And in your classes, do you encourage breath work, or can somebody who's never even done yoga before, will they be able to use their breath and to get the benefits of what you're saying?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Because you give cues, or how it's somebody who doesn't even know what you're talking about experiencing.
Well, that's what yoga teachers have to develop.
Oh.
Is ways to help people breathe deeper that doesn't create strain.
Yeah, okay.
And it's not enough just to use the words, although words, metaphors are helpful. But my point is that linking breaths with movements helps people start to breathe deeper. And there are some times when you don't need a deep breath. You just want the breath to flow. You want it to be a relaxed breath. And then there are times when it's appropriate to increase the volume and to breathe deeper. So our resting breath, as you know as a yoga teacher, is a third of our capacity. And that's all we need in everyday activities.
Right.
But the body benefits and the lungs benefit from taking deeper breaths.
Right.
Which is why exercise is important.
It's important, yeah.
And also doing breath cues that are nuanced in a yoga class are important.
I love this. So, Rudy, now that you're on Zoom, people can find you. And I've already attended I attended their relaxation class, which I've marked my calendar. Nothing else is going on at that hour from now on. It was so nice. But I know you all. Yeah, the Thursday 4:30 class. That's the one I like.
That was what we call the mat yoga class.
The mat, okay.
It's on Tuesday we do a chair yoga class.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
And those are both in the late afternoon. The chair yoga is 5 to 6 on Tuesdays. The mat yoga is 4:30 to 6 on Thursdays. And daily we're doing a 30-minute breath practice class done seated in a chair.
Oh.
So that everybody can do it.
Yeah.
And so we offer it every day, 8 to 8:30.
Okay.
And it's both on Zoom and it's on Facebook on my page, Dynamic Gentle Yoga with Rudy.
Okay.
So that's the easiest place to find my classes.
Okay.
On my Facebook page, Dynamic Gentle with Yogi.
Okay.
With Rudy.
With Rudy. Yeah. I heard Joyce.
So Joyce is just saying that may change to Gentle Yogi. Period.
Okay.
And the way to get the links for Zoom, and they do show up on Facebook, but I know not everybody does Facebook.
Right.
So you can email us at info@gentleyogi.com.
Okay.
That's our email address, gentleyogi.com.
Okay. When I launch, I also put it on my Instagram page, and what I'll do is I'll have all of your details so that they can find you. And I probably will come back just to make sure that I have the correct, email, the where they can find you. Because I do know you're on Are you on Instagram? I think I did. I think I tagged you after my class. Because Meg, who was in the teacher training, she corrected me and put down it's at. She sent me your link, and so I tagged the link. So I know you're on there, or somebody's. Yeah.
On Instagram.
Yes.
I don't think the class
is on there. Right. Okay. Well, gosh, Rudy, this has been so nice. It just one more question though. When you said you need to practice regularly, what does that mean? What is a regular practice to get the benefits?
So if you do a yoga class, most people feel better after a yoga class.
Yes.
Which is why it's a thing.
Yes.
They feel better, they feel calm, they feel peaceful, and they may feel a little more comfortable in their body. And so you will feel better after a yoga class. And then the next day, you'll feel different.
Yes.
You will be a little stiff because that's what happens when we sleep for 8 hours, the body gets stiff, and then you have tensions of the day, and you're not peaceful anymore, you're worried. And so it's not only that, so if you want to get peaceful and comfortable in your body again, you need to
do the yoga.
And have a meditative yoga.
Yeah.
So, but that's just the beginning, that when you do it regularly, more benefits become available, meaning you get more sensitive, your awareness sharpens. And just a student today said, I feel, after she's been doing the morning breathing class for probably 4 weeks now.
Wow. Oh.
And she says she just feels clearer and more peaceful during her day.
Yeah.
And that she's noticing it, her family's noticing it, and that she's just more aware of when she's not peaceful and clear. And so awareness sharpens.
Okay.
And the physiological benefits.
Yeah.
And all the systems of the body start to work better when you do yoga regularly.
So regularly sounds more like a person has to make an individual choice. Because I know I'm beating myself up that I don't have a regular practice right now. That's why I'm coming back. I have to put it on the calendar. And
when I say, I've been teaching for 35 years, and some of those years I had a regular practice.
Oh.
Some.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah. Okay.
The years I had in regular practice was when I was practicing in a group. Very challenging
to do it
a
alone.
Regular practice on your own.
Yeah.
So before we started recording this, you were talking about how on Zoom we're able to do classes that are actually being led by somebody across the country.
Right.
Or somewhere different. So now that during this time in the spring of 2020, a lot more people are taking things in on Zoom because we're not going out as much during the quarantine, during this pandemic. And so we're seeing that there's so much more we can do if we just get used to doing it on the screen and watching it on the screen. Yes, it's different from in person. Yeah. But it's also right here in your living room. You don't have to drive to the studio.
Yes.
And it's not necessarily limited by schedule.
No.
Because a lot of the trainings or talks that we want to listen to, they're done live, but they're recorded and they stay available. And so it's a very interesting silver lining because, right now as you and I are talking, it's June.
Right.
And we're feeling like we don't know how this is going to change us this summer, this fall, next year. And so amidst all this uncertainty, we're also getting to explore a different way of connecting.
Yes. Yes, it's so true. So true.
That's interesting.
Yes, it is. It is. Oh, Rudy.
Well, thank you, Traci.
Thank you so much. I just might even have to pop in at that 8 o'clock class tomorrow morning, so you might see me there. I think I just need to make a commitment, and I can do that. Rudy, thank you.
Well, it's a pleasure.
Mine.
Thank you for inviting me.
Oh, yeah. Thank you so much. You've touched my heart.
Okay. And you mine.
Thank you.
Blessings on your day.
Thank you. You too. His classes are perfect for beginners or anyone looking for a gentle yoga class. I think I even had posted a photo of me in a restorative yoga position, complete with blanket and candle. Anyway, you can follow Rudy on Facebook or register to get on his email list so that you can join him on a Zoom class. Maybe I'll see you there. Okay, that's it for now. So that's it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, please tell a friend. Let's spread the word, okay? I welcome suggestions, comments. I love hearing from you. And as always, life is marvelous and exciting. Go explore it. Your yogi venture is waiting.